All right, welcome. Today, we're going to dive straight into a really powerful explainer. We're treating this as a step-by-step spiritual growth study guide. Because, let's be honest, whether you've been feeling a little stuck in your own faith journey, or maybe you're stepping up to mentor a younger believer who needs some direction, you need a solid framework. And this one provides a profound roadmap built on three absolutely crucial pillars: redeem, restore, and revive.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll be walking through Step 1, redeemed, Step 2, restored, Step 3, revived, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with the Mentor's Action Plan.
Okay, let's kick things off with Step 1, redeemed, the foundation of faith.
We really have to start at the very beginning here, because a core theological concept in our sources is that God must legally buy back your life before he can truly bless it. You literally cannot skip this step. The crucial point is understanding this Hebrew word, goel, which means kinsman redeemer. Historically, a goel had to meet four super strict conditions. They had to be a close relative, they had to be capable, they had to be willing, and they had to pay the absolute full price to reclaim what was lost or sold into slavery. Just like Boaz stepped in to pay the full price for Ruth and Naomi's lost family line, Jesus paid the ultimate, complete price for us on the cross.
Our source material has this fantastic analogy to explain this. Picture a beautiful mango tree, right? But it's dying. You want to prune it, you want to water it, you really want to save it, but there's a huge catch. It's actually planted in someone else's field. You legally can't fix that tree or enjoy its fruit until you buy the field from the old owner. And that is exactly what Christ did for us. If any area of your life is still under old ownership, controlled by sin or past baggage, it simply can't be fixed or blessed until those ownership rights are fully handed over to the new owner.
That brings us right to Step 2, restored, realigning to the original design.
Now, what's fascinating is that God doesn't just want to own you, he wants to completely reset you. Once the tree is bought, the real work begins. Think about it like your smartphone. When your phone starts freezing up or acting like it's possessed because of some weird software glitch, you don't just restart it or set it back to yesterday when it was only slightly slow, right? No, you do a total factory reset. God does the exact same thing. He isn't just taking you back to your past or to the day you were born in a fallen world. He's resetting you to his original manufacturer's design, his flawless intention for you before the glitch of sin ever entered the picture.
Let's look at the Apostle Peter as a real-life case study for this. Before his restoration, Peter had completely backslidden. He was hiding out in a room in total fear, and eventually he just gave up and went right back to his old job of fishing. But Jesus didn't just redeem Peter and leave him sitting in that boat. He restored him to his original purpose. And look at the difference. After that restoration, Peter's daily decision-making was totally transformed. He went from hiding in the shadows to preaching boldly to thousands and literally leading the early church.
So let's take a second for some honest evaluation. What part of your life is still operating under that old ownership? Where have you settled for just surviving with a few constant glitches instead of asking God for a sweeping, total factory reset?
Moving right along to our third pillar, Step 3, revived, the breath of life. Because think about it. Once a phone is reset to its factory settings, it's nice and clean, sure, but it's totally useless if the battery's dead. It needs power, it needs the breath of life. We can actually map this perfectly to the historical journey of the Israelites. First, they were brought out of slavery in Egypt, that's being redeemed, legally bought back. Then they spent 40 years in the wilderness getting Egypt out of their hearts. That's the process of being restored and realigned. And finally, that new generation crossed the Jordan River into Jericho, conquering it not with conventional weapons, but with praise and obedience. That is what it means to be revived. This completely shatters a major misconception we often have. Revival isn't about jumping around and getting an emotional high for 4 days at a church retreat. Our sources emphasize that revival is a permanent infusion of life. It's about living so vibrantly that the change is undeniable. Remember, you can't revive something that's already alive. Revival is specifically the antidote for the dead areas in your life, making them stand up and actually serve God.
So ask yourself right now, are you just a clean showpiece sitting quietly on a shelf? You might be redeemed, you might be morally restored, but where do you actually need God to breathe genuine, disruptive life into your daily walk?
Okay, let's pivot slightly. The Mentor's Action Plan, practical steps for daily walk.
For all the mentors, teachers, and older believers stepping up to guide someone younger, here is your actionable roadmap. First, help them identify any areas still under old ownership. Second, Teach them to stop settling for partial blessings. Remember Ruth? She was initially thrilled just to pick up a handful of leftover grain until her mentor Naomi pushed her to go for complete redemption. Third, pray specifically for that factory reset. Fourth, truly expect God to breathe new life into dead situations. And finally, teach this exact chronological path: redeem, restore, revive, so they understand how maturity actually works. If you ever doubt that this process works, just look at Naomi's incredible contrast. She came back to town literally telling people, "Call me Mara," which means bitter and empty. But by the end of this process, the women of the city were declaring that the Lord had not left her without a redeemer. Talk about a 180-degree turn. Her transformation from a bitter widow to a revived, joyful grandmother of the line of David is the absolute proof of this framework's ultimate goal: a profound return to abundant life. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Are you going to stay comfortable just surviving in the gleaning fields, totally settling for a handful of grain? Or will you finally hand over the deed to your life and let the Redeemer completely redeem, restore, and revive your entire story?